is up, everybody? Thank you for stopping in. Before we even get started on this video, I would like to thank you, Greg, Instagram, Nothing Stock, for coming over and helping me out and ironing out the very last thing we had to do with this to get it running. And I can say, as of right now, it runs. So apparently I did something right. I did all the wiring correctly. It starts, so I guess you guys probably want to see it or hear it. I need to plug off the back of the manifold. I forgot that the brake boost line that goes from here to here is not hooked up, so there's a huge vacuum leak. That's my bad. So I need to plug that off first because it revs up like a, I don't know, something that revs really high. So yeah, so that's exciting. I had oil pressure. It ended up being the fuel pump. We weren't down. First we pulled the bed, you know, pulled the plug, cycled the key, and there was power getting to it, so we know that it was the pump was bad. So we replaced the pump and ran the supply line to a bottle, and it was disgusting, so we did it until we had clean fuel coming out, and it runs. And this had more fuel in it than I thought it did. It was actually about half a tank, so we will run it, probably try and run it completely out and then put good fuel in it and then see what it can do. It is stupid loud right now because it's just open manifolds, and the O2 sensors are not plugged in because there's no Y pipe for them to plug into. So I don't know how good or how long it wants to run good, or if it even will run good once that manifold thing is plugged off, but we'll do that and I'll fire it up real quick. So what I ended up doing was just pulling the hose off of my 6.0. We'll put it back on, but for now I couldn't find anything that plugged that hole adequately, so we'll just do this. Alrighty. Yeah, so like I said, this thing is stupid loud now. That is a huge relief. I mean, a little worried that maybe I messed something up doing the swap, but apparently I hooked everything up correctly. I guess the final test will actually be, you know, it warming up all the way and driving it. So, but as of right now, that is huge progress. This truck hasn't ran in what, 4 years or something, so it's pretty cool that this thing finally runs. And now that that vacuum leak is fixed, it idles a hell of a lot better. That is awesome. Burning off some oil and stuff I had on it for when I put it together. It'll probably smoke for a while, but I need to check the oil because this block had, you know, been taken apart, new oil filter and everything, so all the oil had been drained out of it. I filled up, you know, the 6 quarts in the pan, but we're gonna make sure that it's good. I kind of want to quiet it down a little bit before I let it run forever. I don't want to piss the neighbors off too much, but obviously you need to make sure the coolant's good and everything. It seems like the battery's charging. The fuel gauge doesn't look like it works exactly, because when we pulled the fuel cylinder out, it looked like we had about half a tank, but now it reads about like quarter tank or whatever you guys saw. But everything else looked like it worked. RPMs were right. The volts, the oil pressure was really high, which is probably because it's been like 0 to 2 degrees every morning all week, so, and hasn't been started in however long, brand new oil, you know, whatever. So that's probably why I had really high oil pressure. So how freaking cool is this? This has been such a long process, and I've definitely learned a lot from it. I learned, you know, the do's and don'ts of an LS swap. This next one hopefully will go a lot quicker than this one did. This one, you know, took some time because, you know, doing homework and research and doing things more than once. So there's that, but and some things I still need to address, like I guess you're supposed to use the NBS fan shroud, not the OBS fan shroud. I don't know if the fan is different from a van or not, but it's really close to that boot, so I might trim these. That's just a little too close for my liking. But yeah, we'll see. Now that I know that it runs and it works, I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna pull the harness off. I'm actually gonna wrap it in loom so it looks good, doesn't look all janky. And also we got, you know, put everything back together once we're done. Like I said a couple videos ago, we have all the front end parts, ball joints, tie rods, stuff like that. So we're gonna fix this truck up, make it look really nice, redo the door pins and all that. This will be a great truck for somebody. Jesus. It's gonna be a great first truck, great. Don't care if it gets a dent in the truck. It's, you know, whatever the case may be. This is definitely not a show truck by any means, but it is going to be a good truck for someone. So my guess is this will probably be the first video for a lot of you guys, as far as the LS swap videos go, or maybe in general. So I guess I'll talk about what is done to it. Not a lot is done, and I'll go over the parts I used and the process of it. So first, right off the bat, this is the 5.3 that was out of my 2002 Silverado, because I put a 6.0 in mine. My 6.0 is cam, so I put the 6-liter cam in the 5.3. It's not a lot bigger, it's a little bit bigger. I'm anxious to see how it sounds once the full exhaust is on and everything. But yeah, the intake and the throttle body were ported by Chewy. Chewy ports all my stuff. He does a really good job. I should have had him port the heads, but I didn't. I did freshen the heads up. They, you know, have the LS6, I believe, the blue valve springs on them because they were on there from my old cam. I, you know, cleaned up the valves and everything, so they sealed a lot better. There's an eBay intake that I had to shorten the tube on. These are the factory lines from this truck. I had to kind of kink them, get them to fit. The power steering lines from the 5.3 actually fit a lot better. So the next one I do will have the factory ones. These ones will work, but yeah. The upper and lower radiator hose are, again, for the 5.3. Had to trim the bottom one up a little bit because it was a little too long. The computer I had sent off to Bauer Performance. It was $55 for him to delete the VATs and delete like the rear O2s and a couple things I didn't need, and to kind of, you know, bump up the performance a little bit. Nothing crazy. This is definitely not a race truck, but just, you know, it runs a little bit better. This is my standalone harness, sort of. This isn't really a standalone swap. You integrate a lot of the factory stuff into the 411 PCM. This is just a generic fuse block and relay deal. This controls the injectors, the O2 sensors, the ones you do keep, the mass airflow, pretty much all the pink power, which is switched power. So whenever the computer turns on, it tells this to click on. No, sorry. Whenever the ignition turns on, it turns the computer on, which turns all these on. Yeah. So at the moment, we're, like I said, we're just open manifolds. I'm gonna go with the Jegs off-road Y-pipe for a 99 through 06 half ton. I've seen that it fits on these LS swaps, so we're gonna try it out. Hopefully it does. That way we can just, you know, fab up our own 3-inch single pipe after, you know, it merges. I did put 4.8 pistons in it, which are flat top pistons. For those that don't know, the 4.8 and the 5.3 share the same block, same bore and everything. The blocks even say 4.8/5.3 on them from the factory. The 4.8 just have a shorter stroke, but the pistons fit. It's a very easy and cheap upgrade to, you know, bump up your compression a little bit. I did use the factory throttle cable. It's a little too long. I just made a little piece to kind of hold it down on the manifold. This, because it's out of a van, does not have the screws or the tapped holes, whatever, to put the engine cover on it, because the vans are really tucked up underneath the front of the windshield, but that's okay. Next one will. So we have a couple covers, but anyway, yeah. So I've heard that you can use the cable out of 99 through 02 Silverado. I have not tried it, but it seems to be shorter. Some people say they have tried it. So coming into here, this is probably part that some people are going to be really interested in. So this is from lt1swap.com is where this guy got the info, but his channel is You Can Do It Too. This is the drawing he came up with. So like, I'd only use one relay because I use the factory fuse blocking relays for like the starter and fuel pump, things like that. Here are the pinouts for the 411 PCM that came with the 5.3. So all the yellow are things you do not need. You just take those out. There's plenty of videos on how to do a standalone harness or strip a harness down, so I'm not going to really get into that. And I got both of these from lt1swap.com. There's tons of good info. These are the pinouts for the 98, 99. I guess 96, 97 are the same, and 98, 99 are the same. So this is for a 98, 99. On that computer, there's 4 plugs. Same deal. There's really not much you keep, like the fuel level output. You see that? The speed from the transmission to the computer. The black connector is one you keep most of the stuff from. The 4-wheel drive, ignition, all that kind of thing. So basically what you do is you take your like fuel pump control, which is blue 9. I say blue, but it's C1, but blue 9, and I found the fuel pump relay on this one, stuck it in there. Oh, that's fuel pump relay, sorry. That's fuel level. So the fuel pump relay was, here we go, black 1. So I put black 1 and red 9. So you swap over what you do need from this harness, which is not a lot, to this harness. This is stripped down for a standalone harness. The bare essentials. There's a lot you don't need on the 5.3 harness. So go to his page. He has these on his page, and it opens up like a PDF. You could print it off. It's super simple. And so far, everything seems like it's working good. I might have to change the fuel level signal. Right now, I have it in blue 50 or green. Oh my gosh, red 54. It was clear 1 from the 98 truck. The secondary one, yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. But yeah, we can swap those around a little bit, maybe try and see if we get a better reading. But that is really not the most important thing. Most important thing is the truck runs. I'm beyond ecstatic about it. I'm proud of myself, because I mean I did this all by myself. Nobody really walked me through it. I had Greg, who kind of helped me take the bed off. He had already done an LS swap in his 74 square body. That's what it is, square body. So he kind of, you know, I mean, I kind of had an idea, and I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right. So he kind of made sure I was doing it correctly, which I was. So I really appreciate his help. We did pick up a Summit branded muffler, which oddly resembles a Flowmaster. I'll tell you this right now, Summit does not make their own parts. So it's probably like a factory second one that Flowmaster didn't think was good enough for them. But regardless, it was only $35 or something. And then we got some 3-inch tubing. So whenever we do get the white pipe, you'll mock it up and send her on our merry way. Anxious to hear how this thing sounds. Right now you can't really hear anything because, you know, with the manifolds, it's loud. You have the engine noise, all that, you know, going on. Can't really pinpoint, see if you have like a lifter tick or something like one of your bearings and the engine is shot, which I hope is not the case. I think we're going to start it one more time before we take that hose back off. Maybe let it run a little bit longer, because I mean I did have the heads off. want the head gasket to seal all the way and maybe get it warmed up. See, that fuel gauge does not like it. So yeah, I warmed up a little bit. The heater started blowing hot air, so that's good. It means we're circulating. It seems like the battery's charging. Everything seems to run pretty damn good, actually. This went a lot smoother than I thought it was going to. To be honest with you, I was kind of expecting there to be a problem. Like, yeah, we got fuel pressure, but maybe the regulator was stuck because it's old, or one of the coil packs wasn't shooting off, or whatever. But I gotta say, it's so far it's turned out pretty okay. Okay guys, short video but exciting video. I'm really excited about what we got coming for the truck now. Now that we got it to run, there's really not much left to do. I mean, I guess sort of, but more content for sure. I can't wait to drive this thing for the first time. That will be awesome. There's the first start feeling, then there's the first drive feeling, and this feels great right now, but I still cannot wait to take it for its first drive. So again, I really thank you for stopping in. Thank you again, Greg, for coming over and giving me a hand. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys next time.